It was a cold Sunday afternoon, the kind where the world feels a little slower, a little quieter. The small diner on Route 76 smelled of coffee, pancakes, and nostalgia. The neon open sign flickered weakly against the gray drizzle outside. Inside, a handful of regulars were scattered around. The soft hum of conversation filled the air, broken only by the clinking of plates and the hiss of the coffee machine. And at the far corner, near the window, sat Emily. She was 16. Her wheelchair was tucked neatly against the booth, the same spot she came to every weekend. This diner was her safe place, a place where she could sip hot chocolate and sketch in her little worn-out notebook while watching the rain. But that peace was about to shatter. The bell above the door jingled. In came 3 teenagers, loud laughing, dripping with arrogance. The kind of laughter that makes your stomach twist because you know it's not kind. Jake, the self-proclaimed leader, had that smug grin that just screamed trouble. As soon as they spotted Emily, his smirk widened. "Well, look who it is," he muttered, loud enough for her to hear. "The miracle on wheels." Emily froze. Her fingers tightened around her warm cup. "Leave me alone," she said quietly. But Jake only laughed louder. Come on, don't be shy. We just came to say hi." His friend Ryan snatched her sketchbook off the table and flipped through the pages. "Whoa, look at this. She's drawing people who can actually walk." The diner went silent. Every eye turned toward them, but no one said a word. No one wanted to get involved. Jake leaned closer. "You think you're better than us, huh? Sitting here like some kinda angel." Emily shook her head, her voice trembling. "Please, just stop." Jake's grin darkened. In one sudden motion, he slapped the cup from her hands. Hot chocolate splattered across her lap, dripping onto her legs and her wheelchair. She gasped, a mix of shock and pain. Then the unthinkable happened. He slapped her. It wasn't a hard slap, but it was enough to sting, enough to shatter her already fragile confidence. The waitress, an older woman named Martha, hurried over. "You boys better get out before I call the cops," she shouted. Jake scoffed. "Relax, Grandma. We're leaving." They stormed out, laughing like it was all a big joke. The diner fell into a heavy silence. Emily sat trembling, silent tears running down her face. Martha knelt beside her, gently wiping the spilled drink from her hands. "Sweetheart, I'm so sorry," she whispered. Emily could only nod, her voice broken. Why would they do that? No one had an answer. An hour passed. The rain had stopped, leaving the world outside gray and still. Emily sat quietly, staring at her reflection in the window. Then, the door opened again. The bell jingled, but this time, the sound felt different, heavier. A group of men and women walked in leather jackets, steel boots, tattoos, and the unmistakable scent of engine grease. A biker gang. There were about 8 of them, tall and rough around the edges, the kind of people you wouldn't want to make eye contact with. The leader, a man with a gray beard and a scar down his cheek, nodded to Martha. "Coffee black for everyone." His voice was low and firm. Then he noticed Emily. She looked so small, so fragile, sitting in the corner still quietly crying. Her sketchbook lay open, a page smudged with tears and chocolate. The leader frowned. "Everything okay here?" Martha hesitated. "Not really. Some kids came in earlier. They heard her." The room went silent again. The bikers exchanged glances. The leader leaned forward, his jaw tightening. "What do you mean, hurt her?" Martha told them everything, every word, every laugh, every cruel act. When she finished, the leader's expression was dark, his fists clenched. "What did they look like?" he asked quietly. 3 boys, locals, one of them Jake something. The leader nodded slowly, took a deep breath, and stood. "We'll be right back." 15 minutes later, the sound of motorcycle engines roared through the parking lot like thunder. Across the street near the gas station, the 3 teenage boys were laughing, tossing a football. They hadn't expected to see 8 bikes pulling up beside them. The engines cut off. The bikers stepped off their motorcycles in unison, a wall of leather and steel. The leader walked straight toward Jake. Jake sneered. "What's this? You old guys lost or something?" The leader's voice was calm. "You hurt a little girl in that diner." Jake scoffed. "So what? You her grandpa or something?" The leader took one step closer. The air grew thick. "No, but I am someone who doesn't stand by when cowards hurt those who can fight back." Jake swallowed hard, his smirk finally fading. The leader leaned in close enough for Jake to see the scars on his face. "Now you're gonna do 2 things. You're gonna go back in there, apologize, and then you're gonna clean up the mess you made, understand?" Jake tried to stand tall. "Or what?" The leader gave a small, cold smile. "Or you'll learn what respect feels like the hard way." For the first time, fear replaced arrogance in Jake's eyes. He nodded slowly. "Why, yeah. Okay." A few minutes later, the diner bell jingled again. Emily looked up, and her eyes widened. Jake stood in the doorway, drenched in rain, his face pale. Behind him, the biker stood silently, arms crossed. He walked to her table, eyes on the floor. "I am sorry," he said quietly. "I shouldn't have done that." Emily just stared at him, then said softly, "You hurt me." Jake nodded, his voice cracking. "I know, I'm sorry." He looked up. "Can I help clean it up?" "The mess I made." Emily hesitated, then nodded. He picked up a towel and started wiping the table, every wipe slow and deliberate. When he was done, he stood quietly, waiting. Emily looked at him for a long moment, then said softly, "Thank you." He nodded, turned, and left. The bikers followed, but not before the leader placed a hand on Emily's shoulder. "You're stronger than you think, kid," he said. "Don't let people like that dim your light." He grinned. "No, thank you. You reminded us why we ride, to protect the ones who can't." And then they were gone. That night, Emily opened her sketchbook to a new page. She drew a group of bikers standing tall beside a girl in a wheelchair, rain falling around them like silver threads. She titled it, *Kindness on Two Wheels*. Weeks later, the story spread after someone in the diner posted a video of Jake's apology. It went viral. The local paper called it the day kindness roared through Route 76, and Emily, she found her voice again. She began speaking at schools, talking about kindness and courage. Even Jake showed up at one of her talks, sitting quietly in the back, clapping with tears in his eyes. Because sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes, they wear leather jackets. And sometimes, all it takes to change a life is a single act of kindness. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that makes you believe in the good in the world. See you next time.